This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, Colleen. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
My name is Queen. I am a licensed social worker and I am part of the medical team, just helping to support the primary care providers in their efforts. The notes that I take, I will, write them up and place them right into the same chart as the primary care physicians. And just to ensure that everyone is on the same page and working towards your health care goals, just making sure that communication you know um, is accurate, and they're working on things together. um, I do work very closely with your primary care physician, Dr. Who. And what this means in general is that, I provide support in various ways by, assisting you with ways to make lifestyle changes as needed, like engaging in healthy, activities such as eating well or, exercising regularly. But also helping to create like an attainable self-care routine for stress management, and ways to cope with everyday life situations or life stressors. Typically, the consultations take about 15 to 20 minutes. And during this consultation, I'd like to just grab a snapshot of, your life and, determine what's working well for you and what's not working so well for you. And together we'll come up with a plan to help you manage things much better. After the consultation, I will follow up with the referring physician, who is your doctor, Dr. Who, just to discuss the plans that we formulate today. I do want you to know that everything we talk about and speak about today, it is confidential. But I must say that if you have intent to harm yourself or to harm someone else, I am responsible for reporting these types of intents. Do you have any questions before we begin?
Yes, actually, I do. Is this something you can really help me with? Because I don't have a lot of time. I have a baby at home, I'm in school, and I have a part-time job.
That's a great question. Thank you, Colleen. The goal of these sessions are to help you identify an action plan that will work for you. Is that okay?
Yes,
How does that sound? Good.
sounds great.
Okay, so I did speak with Dr. Who. She mentioned you've been, anxious some and having difficulty sleeping lately, which is like causing you to arrive to work late. Is this accurate? Are these concerns you're having, or is it something different?
Yes, I find it difficult sleeping through the night, even when I go to bed early. I'm tossing and turning through the night, then I wake up exhausted, having to be productive during the day on 3 to 4 hours of sleep.
Hmm, I understand why that can be a concern. About how long ago was it that you first noticed yourself not being able to sleep through the night or having difficulties resting?
Um, I'd say about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. Was there anything significant that happened to trigger these, restless nights?
My husband picked up and left me with a new baby for his ex. We planned to build a life together, but he was making the same plans with her the entire time. Only difference, she don't have any children. Everything changed once we had the baby.
Sounds like what you went through is a challenging experience. And what I hear is that you've been treated unfairly. How did that experience make you feel?
I felt irritated, and for the first few days, the only thing I could think of was hurting him as much as he'd hurt me. I'd be up all night thinking about what he and his rekindled lover was doing all night while tended to a crying baby. The baby knew I was irritated because she would cry and scream all the time.
Colleen, the events you describe, they sound stressful, and it must be difficult caring for a small baby all alone. How have you managed since the separation?
I stopped thinking about that loser, and I got a job and went back to school online. My grandmother comes over and watches the baby while I'm at work.
Somehow, through all of this, you keep going. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I appreciate you trusting me with this information. About how many times a week would you say you experience difficulty sleeping at night?
5 to 6 nights a week, and when I finally fall asleep, I'm up in 3 or 4 hours.
Hmm. And over the past 2 weeks, on average, how long does it take you to fall asleep?
Like 2 hours,
Okay. And over the past 2 weeks, on average, how many times do you wake up at night?
like 4 to 5.
That's a lot. Yeah. About how long does it take you to fall back asleep once you wake up?
I can't seem to go back to sleep, so usually just stay awake and complete class assignments.
Hmm. Well, that's, being productive with the time, is there anything that you do or anything that, happens that lead to you feeling more restless?
Nothing I can really think of. I usually check my emails and social media accounts before I go to bed.
Okay. Have you noticed any changes in your ability to do your job?
Oh, and Genus, I'm always late, and my boss has noticed.
Hmm. Sometimes when people have difficulty sleeping, they cut back or stop, meaningful or enjoyable activities. Have you cut back or stopped on enjoyable activities?
Yes, I really haven't been out with friends in months, and not because of the baby. Last week, my grandmother offered to watch the baby while I have a night out with friends. She said I need to find a date, but I just don't have the energy for it.
Hmm, okay. And do you have an exercise routine?
No,
No? Okay. And have you exercised in the past?
yes,
Okay, good. Good. Have you stopped exercising since you started having difficulty sleeping?
no. Actually, once I found out I was pregnant, I had severe morning sickness for most of my pregnancy, and so I stopped going to the gym. Before the pregnancy, I'd go to the gym regularly. My job has the gym on site. It was so convenient that I would go like 6 days a week.
Okay. And when you were exercising before, what benefits, did you get from it?
I had more energy and I just felt better about myself.
Good. That's good. Do you drink caffeinated drinks at all?
Yes.
Okay. What kind? Tea, coffee, soda?
Coffee and Coca-Cola.
Yeah. And how many times typically during a day?
About 3 or 4.
Okay. Do you drink alcoholic beverages?
No, the stuff is awful, and I've seen what it does to very talented people.
Yeah, that's a good awareness. Are you taking any prescribed medications or over-the-counter medications?
Nothing at all. I try to stay away from prescription medications and rely more on natural remedies.
I support the decision you've made, and I'm happy to help you with alternative natural remedies.
Thanks for listening to me.
This next question, it's routine. It's a routine question that we ask everyone. And, if you're uncomfortable in any way, or, if you don't feel comfortable answering the question, feel free to, you can let me know that you prefer to pass or we can come back to it.
Okay.
Over the past 2 weeks, would you describe your mood as down or sad, depressed, anxious, or angry?
Frustrated and anxious. I have so much going on. Finals are due, and bills I'm now solely responsible for since the separation. And I have this part time job that barely cover the bills. If I could just make it to graduation, I'd qualify for a promotion. With the full time salary, we would be okay.
Okay, thank you. I can see why this is bothering you and you're not sleeping. How many days a week would you say you feel anxious?
I'm anxious all the time. If I had to count, I'd say about six.
Hmm, okay. Well, thank you for sharing this information with me. It does help me paint a clear picture of your experiences, and it also allows me to help formulate a focused action plan. Um, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think might be important for me to know?
No,
Okay, all right. So it sounds like the relationship you've had with your grandmother was an important one, and she must be something special.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just to recap over some of the, and summarize some of the things to make sure that, I'm grasping what it is that you've shared with me thus far. It sounds like, those traumatic experiences you've shared with me thus far, including the unexpected separation from your spouse, has caused some disruption in your life, and has it's required you to rapidly transition into new roles as primary caregiver of a young baby and sole household provider. And along with this, going back to school, it's a good thing, but it can be stressful. And having these, stressful events, it sounds like they've triggered some form of insomnia. Are you familiar with the term insomnia?
I thought insomnia was really related to insanity.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I understand why you would associate the two. May I offer additional information?
Yeah, don't hold back. Please continue.
Okay. So, insomnia is, it's actually a disruption in sleep versus insanity. And chronic insomnia is usually a result of stressful or life events that disrupt the healthy sleep habits. It can also be associated to medical conditions, which I haven't heard you speak about any medical conditions thus far. I reviewed your chart also. It sounds like these have been triggered by some stressful life events. And to be honest with you, nearly everyone has an occasional sleepless night. But your risk for insomnia is greater when you have a lot of stressors, and you don't have a regular sleep routine or schedule. Some of those symptoms, as you've mentioned, can be, tiredness during the day, which is causing you to be late to work. Also, the irritability, sometimes difficulty paying attention or remembering things, and it can, if left untreated, insomnia can actually cause, high blood pressure or depression, or even heart disease. Insomnia, it's usually treatable, but the key, it lies in changing your routine during the day and also when you go to bed. May I ask, do you have any questions about that information I shared with you?
No,
Okay, okay. Um, what have you tried in the past? And do you have a bedtime routine that you have in place? What does it look like now?
I don't really have a routine. We just go to bed when the time is right, which is when the baby gets tired.
Okay. What have you found helpful in managing this situation? When the baby gets tired, what do you find helpful in falling asleep after she gets tired?
Talking with my grandmother, and sometimes we drink vanilla tea and play cards before going to bed. And sometimes she sings old church songs from her childhood.
Oh, I can see. Okay, that's nice. That's great. Um, are there any areas that you feel, maybe need adjusting at all?
Yeah, I think a better bedtime routine.
Okay. Yes, that's a great start. I want to just share with you what I admire most about, what you've done and is your ability to be resilient and pull from, your inner strengths to address your current experiences. May I offer a few suggestions?
Of course, thank you.
So earlier in the conversation, you did mention you prefer more natural remedies, right?
Yes.
The following are a few natural lifestyle changes or remedies that you could do right at home. So that include, just staying active, regular exercise. It does promote healthy nights, good night rest and sleep. Sometimes something like dancing around the house for 30 to 45 minutes a day. Just turn the music up and, dance to an upbeat, tune. It's definitely good exercise. And before going to bed, just finding ways to relax, right? A warm bath at bedtime can help prepare you for sleep. Just creating a bedtime routine, such as a hot bath, reading or soft music, breathing exercises, meditation, or even prayer. Um, Several small studies they do suggest meditation can be beneficial as well, um, to improve sleep and reduce stress. Also, staying asleep, something like melatonin. It is natural. Melatonin is natural. You can, it's an over the counter supplement, but generally it's considered safe when using for just a few weeks. So, starting off to, help yourself establish a routine, but nothing, long standing, ongoing. What do you think about the information I shared with you?
Yeah, this is great. I think these are things I can easily do. I never thought of dancing or as exercise because it's so much fun. I used to love dancing all night at parties. That's how I met my husband. He liked my dance moves.
Okay. Which of these do you feel most comfortable with or you see yourself doing regularly?
I love to dance and can do that right at home. The breathing exercises after a nice hot bath, and I already pray before bed. Maybe I can try listening to some soft worship music during prayer or meditating.
Sounds good. How many days a week will you commit to a routine?
Let's say 4 to 5 days a week. Is that okay?
4 to 5 days per week sounds like a solid bedtime routine to me, but it's what you feel that you can commit to that's really important and what matters.
Yes, I believe I can, or at least give it an honest try. I can't continue with these sleepless nights. I'm bound to have an accident or something.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Colleen. So let's review what happened here today and what we've accomplished. We've identified various stressors triggered by unfortunate life events, which has interfered with your ability to maintain that healthy sleep pattern. We've reviewed the term insomnia and some of the causes and natural remedies to address the insomnia. You've identified ways to relieve some stress, and you formulated a tangible bedtime routine. Initially, you asked me, is this something that I can really help you with? I'd say something positive occurred here today during this session, but what matters again is what you say. And what do you feel that happened here today?
Thank you for listening to me. I really feel much better about um I really feel much better. Already like a load has been lifted from my shoulders.
Great. Do you have any questions, Colleen?
No, you've explained things thoroughly.
Great. So the goal, once you go home is, and this is what I'm going to, speak with Dr. Who about, and I'm going to place this in the chart. You let me know if this is accurate or not. But your goal when you go home is that Colleen will practice new stress management techniques 4 to 5 times per week to establish healthy sleep habits and increase the number of hours she sleep through the night. And you would do this within about 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, great. I'd like to follow up with you in about 3 to 4 weeks just to see how things are going. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I appreciate your time today, Colleen.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Queen.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye.